Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, I'll discuss about the formal teaching of research methodology and why I think it is a must. So what is research? The research is a quest for knowledge through diligent search or investigation or experimentation aimed at the discovery and interpretation of new knowledges. What is a scientific method? The scientific method is a systematic body of procedures and techniques applied in carrying out investigation or experimentation targeted at obtaining new knowledge. So here the research and scientific methods may be considered a course of critical inquiry leading to discovery of facts or information which increases our understanding of human health and diseases. So what is essentially research methodology? It consists of the planning of a research, conducting the result and publishing the result. So why it is important to know about this all methodology? I'm just going to discuss about few very basic terminologies which is used in the research, and I'll just explain why it is important to know all about this. First, coming to the study design. So a study can be an observational study or can be an interventional study. Observational study can be a descriptive study or analytical study. The examples of descriptive studies are case report, case research, descriptive cross-sectional studies. Analytical studies can be analytical comparative cross-sectional study, case control study or cohort study. The examples of interventional studies can be a clinical trial or community trials. So a student must know what they are dealing with. Now, just knowing all this terminology doesn't help. You have to understand that this pyramid also. As you move up this pyramid, the stronger methodology is there, less bias is there, and controls for comparison will be there, and there will be fewer studies. So it is a good idea to draw a conclusion from the RCTs, not from the case report or the case series. A study location, it should be noted whether it is a single center or multi-center, whether the baseline criteria are similar in all the centers or not. Time perspective or data collection, it can be a retrospective, prospective or cross-sectional study. Retrospective, though the strength will be a little bit less, but it is not through and through useless study. It can be a basis of a future prospective study also. The sample size, it depends on the study question or design. It preferably be representative of the population in a given scenario and depends on prevalence of the clinical condition. So whether it is a rare disease, the sample size will be less, or if it is a more prevalent disease, the sample size is supposed to be more. The backbone of the study is always the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Whenever a student is seeing any article or planning any study, definitely the inclusion and exclusion criteria should be the must. And it is the inclusion criteria is attributes of the subject that are essential for their selection to participate, and the inclusion criteria function remove the influence of specific confounding variables. The exclusion criteria include factors or characteristics that make the recruited population ineligible for the study. Now coming to the protocol part, if someone is planning to do some study, they should know about the protocol. So what is the protocol? The study protocol incorporates all the information regarding the study in a concise manner. The protocol should contain background information of the study, objectives, ethical aspects, study design, methods of assessment, statistics and evaluation, administrative issues, and the references. Ethical consideration, the World Medical Association has developed the Declaration of Helsinki as a statement of ethical principles to provide guidance to physicians and other participants in medical research involving human subjects. It has total 32 points. The main 4 principles are: subjects are made fully aware of the nature and purpose of the research project. Consent is voluntarily given. The person involved has the legal capacity to give consent. The responsibility to obtain a consent rests with the researcher. So privacy and confidentiality should be maintained. So why it is a must now? To learn the proper way to express their thoughts, to learn the proper way to document their thoughts, to be able to understand the available scientific resources and draw a conclusion from them, and to learn the proper way to enrich the science fraternity and hence the society. Thank you.